back, everyone. Welcome back to the Grand Finals. Those Grand Finales here of the LiuLi Cup number 46, day number 2. We're here. We are back. We have our top 2 players. Bam! As you can, there we go. As you can see here before you, we have Clem and Creator. Clem, he's been playing nothing but TvP. Just purely, he beat Classic. He beat Hero. Now he's up against Creator in the Grand Finals. Creator, he's had a lot more of a diverse kind of road here to the finals. Took down Percival, took down Shin as well in the semis. Now he's up against Clem in those finals. And Clem is a brutal opponent. Clem, he has the best TvP in the world. He has the best TvP. He has been very vocal about his disdain for the matchup and his struggles in the matchup as well. But the reality is that you do not get better than Clem in the Terran versus Protoss matchup. In years past, we had players like Cure, right? You could make very strong arguments that Cure had the best TvP. This was like 2022, 2023. But of course, 2021, 2022. But in more recent years, Clem has kind of taken that mantle from him. They're both on the same team, of course. They both work on the matchup together. But Clem has been looking much more dominant, of course, as the reigning world champion from last year. And of course, the best Terran in the world. And here we go. We're getting into that best of 7 Grand Finals. Creator, really impressive play to see him make it this far. Not gonna lie, I was not really pinning Creator to be one to make it this far, especially on his half of the bracket where we had Beyond, where we had Shin, but no, Creator does rise up instead. And we'll see how he compares. We'll see how he differs from both Classic and Hero. Let's go. We're loading into game 1. Gonna be loading into Persephone. Bearing in mind the Hero, he was going for a very Zealot dense and Zealot heavy composition, which is more standard in longer later games. Hero, he was rushing there a little bit sooner. We'll see if Creator heads in that direction as well. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the red Protoss player. Okay, the red Protoss from South Korea, it is Creator. I'll set up his name. Feels bar good, man. Bam, there we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have going for a proxy, by the way, as 2 SCVs are being sent across the map. God damn it. We have the French Terran player, the blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go again. We have the 2 SCVs being sent across the map. Clem, he's going to be committing here with Proxy 2-Rax Reaper as gases are being taken, and it's going to be up to Creator to scout to confirm what exactly is going on. Now, thankfully, Creator, he is going for a probe scout across the map. He will confirm that a Rax is missing, but it could be a singular Rax, could be 2 Rax, could be a Marauder, of course. Regardless, Creator at least will have a bit of a heads up that something is wrong. As the probe is being sent in. Creator back at home, going gate expand. Ooh. He sees. Okay, thankfully. He does go in, he does scout, he does confirm. Despite that, there it is. We have the Cyber Core, but late gas here. You saw that, I don't know if you noticed, but Creator, he was actually banking up to 400 minerals. He was going to go for a gate expand. Now he reacts, but it's a late tech choice here. Late reaction, late gases. As he's now setting up. As he originally wanted to go for a faster Nexus. You know, Clem setting up the bunker. Reapers are on the way. And I'll say so far, a nice start for Clem. It's a nice start. So it does pop out. As we're trying to work on that bunker. Waiting for the Reapers. And Reaper has arrived. We're trying to buy time for the Stalker. Does force a cancel, not bad. And Creator is going to be contained a little bit longer here on one base. Ooh, as he will lose a second pro. Oh no! Almost gets us around. And Reaper tries to get away. And barely does not. Whew. Okay. Nice catch there from Creator. Nice catch. There's a cancellation. Now we can expand. Now we can break out. So the game will continue from here. Creator now expanding back at home. We do see a factory follow-up, a safety bunkers on the way for the counterattack, and CC on the high ground. The game will continue. Now, did Clem do enough damage? He killed 2 probes. He did delay the expansion as well, so delayed natural, delayed saturation. He also forced out early zealots. He forced out early units. So there was some indirect damage, but it wasn't too bad. So we can just calm down, we can settle in. We'll see what the follow-up is going to be for Clem. I would imagine that he's going to keep the momentum up. He has 2 Raxes. Does he get a 3rd Rax, or does he go for a starport? That's what I'm curious about. Third Rax. Ooh, okay. Hyper aggression out of Clem. If you remember, we saw this same setup, not the same build, just because we started with a proxy this game, of course, but we had the same setup here last game against Hero. Again, same setup, right? Same setup we just had on Pylon, with Clem setting up for a 2-base all-in where he was able to take a better fight. He didn't kill the 3rd base of Hero, but he took enough of a lead. Same setup here against Creator in Game 1. So we have a 3-1 setup here, tank production into Stim, combat shields. This is going to be a very strong follow-up here from Clem. Very committed. It's up to Creator to scout. To scout what's going on, to engage ahead of time, and to start up his Stalkers, and ideally Immortals at home as well. Oh god, never mind. He will rush into, he rushed into the 3rd base. It makes sense. He's going 2-gate blink into a 3rd. This is to make up for the late natural, right? Like, Creator, his natural is delayed, so he's being greedy as a response, which is why this build, this follow-up from Clem, makes even more sense. It's going to be even more powerful here as Creator's being greedy. So Creator is skipping warp-ins, he's delaying his production, delaying his tech. Hallucination will confirm. Yep, does get eyes on the 3-1 setup. Is aware of Stim. Is aware of the upgrades. Now, but just because Creator knows doesn't mean he can stop it. There's a 3rd gateway. Robo now has begun. But delayed Immortal production. Okay, drastic, but this can work. Dark Shrine. Now, this Dark Shrine is meant to allow Creators to survive. Now, because we're setting up for a 2-base all-in, what does that mean? Oh, Starport's on the way. We're not pushing. Interesting. But if this was a 2-base all-in, scans would be limited because you'd be mulling your heart out, right? You're going to be mulling as much as possible, just squeezing out as many resources as you can to commit to an all-in. So DTs defensively can actually work really well. But Clem knows he got scouted. He does go for the starport, which means he may get a 3rd CC. It's very aggressive. It's very committed, a very committed build nonetheless. But he can expand from here. If you remember last game on Pylon against Hero, he pushed without the starport. Without the starport, without medevac support. As a result, this is a later move out. So we have the eBay, we have +1 attack on the way as well. So again, Clem is setting up for a longer game. Does have a large army to work with, but again, he's not moving out. He went for the add-on swap as well, so no additional tank production. DTs are on the way. And Clem, he does not have a scan. Uh-oh. And no scan for Clem. Nice pick off. Let's pick at Creator. He does get the tank at the same time. DT does slip past. 3rd CC is on the way, so again, Clem is building up into a longer game. And damage is going to be done. At the same time, though, Clem has a massive army. SCVs are falling. Does have a scan. Does defend. Still 5 SCV kills. It's 5 workers, brutal damage. as Clem is slowly going to be expanding and we're building up into a longer game. Okay, so the game is slowing down. Began with a proxy, began with aggression, but now we're slowing things down. Creator is getting a 4th base, Clem is getting his 3rd. We have double Robo, double Colossus production on the way from Creator. Not going for Storm, going for Colossus. Going for a more Colossus heavy build. And we'll see what Clem can get done. Now, as we're getting ready for Colossus, Clem still has momentum. He still has a larger army. He's moving out. The Colossus are not ready yet. So, Creator, he is vulnerable. Army gets spotted. Creator, he knows. Creator, he responds. DT into the 3rd. Very nice harass. Gets 2 more SCVs and ice mining. But Clem is moving in. Yeah, he denies the Zealots. He shuts them down. And Creator, he cannot engage. He cannot engage. Not into this much bio. He's gonna try though. Yeah, Zealot's out of Force Friendly Fire. Warp in his eye. The 4th base goes down. And Clem, he can stem. He can stem. He can win. He can just focus on everything. Gets 1 Immortal. Gets a 2nd as well. And the Colossus just aren't ready. Yeah, the Colossus are not ready in time. Just now popping out. Clem, he can just keep pushing. Boys are being pulled. Creator getting desperate. 2nd Colossus arrives. But Clem, he can just snowball like control. He takes out another Colossus. 13 probe kills. Backs off. He can regroup. He can keep pushing. Can just keep pushing. Even just taking advantage of the healing pad. Let's go. Healing pad popping off. And again, Creator just being a little bit too greedy here. Delayed his tech, delayed his splash damage, and without the Colossus, he could just never save his 4th. He'd never hold on to it. Or whether it's Colossus or Storm, right? Regardless of splash damage. Powder could not defend. And Clem, he's backing off. He's backing off, getting a 4th CC. To be honest, Clem could just keep pushing. He could just keep going. He could get a 2nd starport and go into mass Viking production, which is what's happening. He's got 2 starports up and running. But Clem, he takes his lead. He's going to extend his lead. Here, the pressure's on Creator to recover in some way. The way to do so would be with like a Zealot run by, a Zealot counterattack, a DT run by as well. If he can somehow get into one of these bases and get some economic damage, then maybe he can recover. But more or less, he's kind of relying on Clem making mistakes and Clem being out of position. Otherwise, Clem, I mean, he's maxed. Like, he's maxing out in a couple of moments here. He's about to max out. He's going to be at what, 40 supply? Oh. It's a beefy army as well. A lot of Marauders, a lot of Vikings. Ghost Academy's on the way. And here comes Clem. He gets spotted. Okay, what do we have? So Creator, he has 3 Colossus. He has a bit of a gateway composition, a little bit. Yeah, Vikings, they just go to town. They get 1, they get 2. Colossus are being hunted down. Yeah, there's no other support here. Storm is only halfway done. Vikings, they can land. And Clem, he should break through. Okay, he stems in, lands the Vikings, gets on top of the Immortals. Only Stalkers remain, GG gets called, and Clem takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Clem, he will take a lead in the series, and again, it was a really chaotic start to the game. We saw that Creator, he was able to defend, able to take his 3rd base, but tech-wise, he was a little bit greedy. He delayed his tech, he delayed his bay, he delayed his Colossus production. As a result, Clem was able to snowball out of control, break the 4th base, and never really allowed Creator to get into his game and to get into the mid-game. Was just one step behind from that moment. GG. GG, well played. With that, Clem takes the lead, but it's a best of 7. Best of 7. We got plenty of games ahead of us, plenty more games to come. We're going to be loading into Ultra Love for game number 2. Wow, Colossi really bad. They're really good, actually. They're really good. Once again, winding it back, if you remember, the big deciding moments in that game was when Creator failed to defend his 4th base, and I was trying to emphasize one of the reasons why he failed to defend his 4th base was because he had no Colossi. Because he decided to go for a second Robo and go for a delayed double Colossus production after he had built up 4 Immortals. If you remember, he had 4 Immortals initially, which would have been good against an all-in, but if you remember, there wasn't an all-in. It was a bit of a later attack instead. So there's kind of like a lot that came into play there. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner. The top right-hand corner here of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing himself, currently teamless. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player going for a double gas opener from Atlanta, France. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. Let us go. But yeah, things can be a little bit deceiving. Because when it came to the last game, the game ended and Clem had a really dominating fight. That is true, but you can make a really strong argument that Clem, he won the game well ahead of that, right? Where he was able to cripple the economy, break the 4th base. He was able to catch all 4 Immortals, if you remember. He reset the Immortal counts. I mean, he reset the army, I should say, of Creator. That was before the main fight. That was like 3 minutes before the end of the game. Like, that's when Clem really kind of like set the stage and took his lead and gained momentum. So the fight was dominant, but the fight was decided well ahead of time. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2. Once again, sorry, so double gas. Double gas opener means a faster factory, a more tech-heavy start out of Clem. Welcome to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is a smaller map in the map pool. Aggression is more favored here on this map. Shorter rushes to spike ground. And more abusable positions as well. So we're expecting hyper aggression out of Clem, but we'll see. We should also be seeing safer builds and safer play out of Creator. Voting is closed on the new maps, right? When do they announce the winners/results? Yes, voting did conclude on Sunday, so a couple of days ago. 2 days ago, voting did conclude. It'll take a little bit for the results to come in, and if you're curious when the new map pool goes live, November. I think it's like first week of November, like first or second week. Early November should be when the new map pool is finalized and goes live in game. Until then, it isn't just the TLMC results that have to conclude, which will soon be revealed to the public, but after that, then the map pool has to be constructed. If you remember, Wax, shout out to Wax, very quick tangent, shout out to Wax Angel, he's the Jesus, we're going for the drop. This is old school, okay, we're going for the Hellion drop into the main, let's go! This is very old school, this was very popular last year, so I say old school, it's a little bit deceiving. This was very trendy last year in 2024, going for Hellion drops into the bases. This did kind of die off and did kind of fall by the wayside. Stargate open at a Creator, and he scouts, he sees, he knows. Yeah, it does spot this. Wow, it does force a cancel on the medevac. Quick reaction out of Clem. As soon as he saw the Phoenix, he canceled. Yeah, he did cancel, did recognize it wasn't going to work. And we're going into Macville accelerators here. Let's go. Hellions, they go for the dive. Bearing in mind, 3 Hellions, 1-shot probes. So 3 Hellions is all you need. Gets into the middle line, probes are lining up, and you can see they're being 1-shot. 4 probes. 4 probes do go down. Nice lift on the Hellion, and we can get maybe 1 more volley of 5 probe kills. Getting up to 6. 6 probes for 4 Hellions. It's an okay trade, and bearing in mind, this is not mech. This is not mech. This is a Macville Accelerated Cyclone follow-up, but that is only because we need anti-air to defend against what? To defend against the Phoenixes. Remember, it was a Stargate. So Stargate opener out of Creator. So we need that anti-air. Clem is racing back. And Creator, he will gain map control. We go. But winding it back, what I was getting at is that Wax Angel, he is the admin for the Team Liquid map contest. Like, he's the person that organizes it. And if you remember, he did actually post a poll. He posted a poll to the public on Reddit. This was maybe a week ago, two weeks ago, I think, like around 2 weeks ago. And he was asking the public whether or not the map pool should be 9 fresh maps, 7 fresh maps, and 2 old maps, or like another combination, right? Another combination of like how many old and how many new. So when I say that the Team Liquid map contest is the first thing, the other thing is how the map pool is constructed. Wax is going to be, he is organizing that, like whether, like how many new maps, how many old maps, and which maps are added. If you remember, the top 2 from the TLMC, they are confirmed in the new map pool, but the rest of the maps, it's kind of like up to how it's like constructed. When I say how it's constructed, obviously you want some rush maps, you want some macro maps, you want like a nice balance of things for how the map pool is kind of like brought together. Clem is moving out. Now, I did say that this wasn't going to be mech, that we were just getting a bunch of anti-air to defend against the Phoenixes. It is mech. We're getting more factories. We're getting a second factory. Let's go. I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've seen, this is now I think the second game that we've seen mech against Protoss on the new patch. As we do see some nice force fields looking down the Marines. Marines are being shot down by the Cyclones. They do get some lock-ons off. Nicely done. Now, the last time we saw mech against Protoss was Ryung. If you remember Ryung, it was a couple of days ago, he played against Geralt, and he was able to embrace mech, but it was a very different form of mech. He played a more traditional form, like heavy tank Viking style instead. Here, it's battle mech, Mass Cyclone. Jesus. And he's popping up. Like the Mass Cyclone, he gets the lock-ons, he zones away, he pulls back the Stalkers. And we cannot keep up. Yeah, the Phoenixes cannot keep up against this. I mean, the Phoenixes are dead supply. Zealots are warping in, charge is done. And Zealots are coming from behind. Collapse in from behind, we just kite into the bases. Clem trading very efficiently, getting six probes, most of the Phoenixes. Most of the Phoenixes do go down, and behind this, embracing battle mech, going into Blue Flame, and more Cyclones. Here we go, so triple factory production. As a reminder, battle mech was nerfed in the recent patch with the fix to the Cyclone. It's not as strong as it once was, but Clem is whipping out of here nonetheless. And it's specific, I want to say this is a reaction to the Stargate play, right? To the Mass Phoenix. As you've seen, the Phoenixes have been struggling a lot to really gain any value here. They try to pick up like a Cyclone at a time, but they get punished for it. And that's a lot of resources, a lot of gas, a lot of minerals spent, and in a way kind of wasted on these Phoenixes, so far at least. They haven't been worth it. Until now. They get an SCV. They get an SCV. Have more mech on the way, more factories. Likewise, I'm pretty sure Wax, he's like going through like a bunch of the tournaments that featured the new maps to kind of figure out like what is best to kind of like bring all together. And he's been very transparent with it as well, which we appreciate. Oh, Phoenixes, they do manage to get some lifts off. Okay, we get 4 lifts off. 2 Phoenixes go down. As Clem just keeps rallying in. Brutal lock-ons here on those Zealots. Vikings being chased down. At least he resets the Viking count. Vikings reset. Creator rushing in. And rushing all the way across the map, trying to get into the mineral lines. Pushing into the 3rd. But is this worth it? As he will lose the Archon. Archon goes down. And Clem, he's running out of Cyclones, down to only 3. His Cyclone count is very low. The Creator is running out of steam. He's running out of reinforcements. Creator, he has to back off, and Clem can just chase. That's the power of Battle Mech. You can chase, you can punish. Thanks to the Cyclone. Cleans up all the Zealots, resets the Phoenix count. Expensive loss to Creator. GG gets called, and Clem, he will hold, he will defend. He will extend his lead in the series, 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very chaotic game here from Clem. Seeing Battle Mech, at least I'm seeing Battle Mech for the first time this patch. We've seen mech before against Protoss this patch, but a very different kind of mech here. But I do believe that this was a reaction to the Stargate, a reaction to the Phoenix production. As you saw, the Phoenixes had a really hard time getting value. There was that one fight in the center of the map where he lifted up 4 Cyclones, which was nice. He was able to lock them down. But again, he bled out so much while chasing the army across the map. He bled out so many Phoenixes throughout the course of that game. I want to say 10 plus Phoenixes were just thrown away, and in the end it just wasn't quite worth it. It was a very committed, very all-in style at a Creator because he sent everything across the map, and GG, didn't break through. Did not break through. GG, well played. With that, Clem takes a 2-0 lead. Now we're jumping into game number 3. Let's go. Let us go. Ooh. As we're loading into Maganatha. They keep switching places. God damn it. One moment, as I said, there we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Maganatha. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. The pressure is on. From South Korea, it is a Creator. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent once again. Yo, yeah, Clem is done. for the second time this series, going for a proxy 2 racks from Land of France, representing Team Liquid. It is a Clem. Oh, Clem, he's got places to be. He's aye. As both SUVs are sent across. Now, what is scary about 2 racks Reaper on Maganatha? It's a larger map. It's a very large map, longer rush distance by ground. Because it's a little bit larger, there's a higher chance that Creator is going to go for an economic build. If you remember in game 1, Creator, he was going, it was on Persephone. Creator, he was going for a faster Nexus. He was going for a gate expand. He opted not to, as he barely scattered in time, but he had like an inefficient shaky start as a result. We'll see if that occurs here as well. Creator, he moves that across the map. Okay, he's finishing up. Okay, Gate Cybercore. Gate Cybercore here by Creator. Thankfully, Pro Scout will confirm that the Raxes are missing. Oh, this time not 2 racks Reaper, 2 racks Marauder. Okay, something much more committed here. Meanwhile, Creator, he moved out. He sees the SCV. Creator is not fully aware, but he will confirm. Does go in, does confirm, does get eyes on both at Tech Labs. Now, from my understanding, defending the natural is insanely difficult against 2 racks Marauder. He's going for it. He's going for the low ground defense. We've seen many a Protoss player like Hero, like Classic, set up in the main instead, like defending the main base. Oh, again, there's so much committed to the low ground. If he will lose this pylon, I mean, that's going to be game. Second shield battery's on the way. Marauders are rallying in. First shield battery's done. So far, so good. But Clem is getting up to 5 Marauders. And we're getting a 3rd shield battery. Second one is finishing up. Creator has to be so careful with this. Oh no! Oh, doesn't want to get caught out. Does not want to get caught out. Be careful. Shield battery is somewhat exposed. Rover is done. He's going to have to pull the boys. There we go. The boys are being pulled. One Stalker does fall. Yeah, nice pickup. He gets one. Marauder gets low. Nice kiting here by Clem. Ooh, takes down the Zealots. We'll lose 1 Marauder. Gets 1 Marauder so far. Sorry, Zealots survived. Not for much longer. Immortal's on the way. And if we can get that Immortal up and running here, Creator, he can hold. can hold on. Okay, the Immortal pops out. Zones away the Marauders, but there are so many Marauders. It's still not an easy defense here for Creator. Shield Virus are running out of energy. Now running out, he goes to the dive. There's the overcharge. But despite that, the Immortal's going to go down. Yeah, massive pick off. The Immortal does fall, but he'll bleed out so many Marauders in the process. Creator, can he hold? Can he hold on? The boys are being pulled. And he will. Yeah, he will hold on. He cleans everything up. Whew. Takes care of all the Marauders. At the same time, though, we have more reinforcements in the natural. But Clem is losing too much. Now with the defensive Immortal here, Creator, he does hold, he does survive, he has 2 bases, and Clem, he has nothing behind this. We're being a little bit cavalier here. Uh-oh. Clem luring Creator out into the open. One Marauder goes down. We should not be here. This is very risky here. The Immortal's on its own. Cleans up all the Marauders though. Does clean up. Clem, he expands. Jesus. I'm just getting the most out of these Marauders. And again, Creator is held. Okay. From here, Creator, he should have a lead. I mean, hey, he saved the natural. He's got more Immortals building up as well. Clem getting a very late expansion. And my eyes are going to be on Creator here. Does he go for a War Prism? Does he go for a Harass across the map? Do we take up? Does he just take a third? Where are we headed? Clem is microing his heart out. Let's go. Brings up the final Zealots. Back at home, getting into a 4-rack setup. It's a lot of Raxes. And Creator, he is going for the War Prism. So he's going to try to press his advantage. Going for the Prism, moving out. With a War Prism control, he can get into the mineral line, get into the main base. He does have to be careful, though. This is the purpose of the Cyclone. The Cyclone is designed to deny the War Prism. To zone it away. Headed for the main. Does go further in. Boys are being pulled. Lock on the Prism. And the Prism takes a lot of hits. Yeah, it takes a lot of hits. It is barely going to break the lock on. Whew. Okay, does get away. Do lose the Immortal. Yeah, the Immortal is going to go down. I'll get out of here. Oh, no! The Prism goes down. The Immortals as well. Massive loss. Massive pickup. Ay, ay, ay. Both Immortals fall. Creator here overextends. Respect the Cyclone. Respect it. Oh, God. And the advantage the lead the Creator had, I mean, that was an expensive loss, losing 2 Immortals and the War Prism as well. For what? For a couple of Marines. For the Cyclone, I suppose. So we're settling in. The game is stabilizing. Is stabilizing. We can see the Creator setting up for another expansion, going for a Dark Shrine. I mean, when behind Dark Shrine. I do like DTs in this position just because Clem has a lot of incentive to mule, right? He has a lot of incentive to just keep muling. So there is a chance that DTs can do damage. There is a chance. Do you ever see Terrans use mech much for Protoss like Clem does, especially the Cyclones? I mean, getting an early Cyclone for defense is pretty standard. Of course, last game it was a little bit different with Clem coming into mech, into battle mech. I would say that is more unique specifically this patch. Like all the Terrans players, they all played mech last patch. Like Cure, Maru. All the Terrans except for Beyond. But this patch it was more unique for sure. First time I've seen it. in the last 2 weeks. Let's go for a massive Zella warping into the main base. And they're denying mining at least. That's denying a lot of mining time. The boys are being pulled to help buffer. And Clem, he will deny the warp in. Massive pickup, takes down the prism. Nice hold position micro. And Clem defends. Yeah, Clem, he will defend at a cost because Clem has 0 economy. Zero. Second prism? Wait, what? Okay, second war prism gets in. We have the second. Oh, it gets thrown away. Yeah, second prism gets thrown away. GG gets called. Never mind. His creator, he was just doubling down. He was all in. And Clem, he holds. Clem, he takes a 3-0 lead. GG. Ay, ay, ay. Creator, he didn't have to commit there, didn't have to go for the attempted all-in, could have expanded behind it, gotten into a longer game. I understand the rationale of going for an all-in because he believed that after the failed 2 racks that he would have the advantage, and he would have, like, imagine that. Okay, so imagine that build. Imagine all those zealots with 2 immortals, supporting the army here. If that was the case, then maybe he has enough, maybe he breaks the main. But he lost the immortals early, if you recall. He lost them early. That shouldn't have happened. That was a massive blow to creator and did weaken the follow-up all in as well. GG. GG, well played with that. Clem takes a 3-0 lead, and Clem is now 1 game away from claiming the series. Let's go. Let us go. So loading into torches. Loading into torches here and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of torches. We have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss down in the series, down heavily in the series. He has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. It is a creator. I'll fix his name. One moment. There we go. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the French Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Leading the series at 3-0, and again we've seen a lot of aggression out of Clem so far this series, with proxy 2-axes, 2x Reaper, 2x Marauder, with Mech of course in the second game, and now we're getting into game number 4. Hello. As speaking of proxies, we have 1 Rax back at home, and I believe a second Rax. Oh no, never mind. Going for the eBay block. So he's rallying in for the eBay block. Does avoid the main scouting path, and he's hoping he can force the unnatural natural. Now if he does, that is brutal, specifically on torches. The third base location is so vulnerable and so exposed on this map. Here comes the eBay. Thankfully creator, he scouts quickly. He already had a probe in position. The boys are being pulled, and creator will shut this down. A little bit late to pull the boys is what I will say. A little bit late, but he will force a cancel. So basically, when it comes to this opener, if this eBay had gotten any more progression on it, then creator would have been forced to expand at the third, at either the triangular third or the linear third base instead. And it is so difficult to defend that on torches. But thankfully, he did scouts, does force a cancel, creator can expand. So we're calming down. Go. I'm going for an economic opener back. I mean, relatively economic. It was delayed because of the eBay, of course, but get into his own racks, into CC, into factory. Welcome to Torches. Torches has a short rush distance by air. It's typically much more aggressive as well. We have goal bases. We have seen Protoss players take advantage of that as well, getting into mass charge. But I'll be honest, so far, Creator, he has been, I mean, this has been a really short series. Like the games, I mean. The games have been very short. They've been very fast, very concise. Creator has yet to really embrace the mid-game. The closest you got was game 1 on Persephone, but if you remember, we were emphasizing that in game 1 on Persephone, Creator, he was behind. He got into the mid-game at a deficit, which is why Clem's push was as strong as it was. So it's been really fast games. We have yet to get into a back and forth mid-game. It just hasn't happened yet between these two. Is this where that changes? As we do see Creator going 3-gate blink. So 2 more gates on the way, so 3-gate blink in total. He's going for a safer start. Likewise, Clem opening up with his initial Widowmine drop. Second Rax is on the way. Well, for the first time, do we get into a standard game? We'll see. We have a lot of Marines building up here. Clem moves out. Moves out across the map. eBay is on the way. That's indicative of course, +1. Indicative of a later timing. So Clem might just expand. Might just get a third. Let's go. As Creator is in position. Does react in time. Pulls away. Lose 1 probe in the main. Oh. As the medevac is zoned back. A nice zoning here by Creator. Ensuring the Widowmines are not saved. At least they shouldn't be. They're just gonna walk out. It's gonna waddle away. Blink is almost done. Thank God. Widowmine doesn't escape. So nice defense here by Creator. Didn't lose too much. And Creator is going for the Bay. Unlike game 1, he's going for the Bay. He's going for soon-to-be Colossus production. If you remember in game 1, he went up to like 3 or 4 Immortals before Colossi. Okay, we're settling in. Getting into the mid-game. Likewise, Clem getting into its bio. Third base is being saturated. Getting into our splash damage. And we'll see if Clem can try to break the defenses here of Creator. We'll see if he can try to punish with a more mobile composition. Overdrop on the left. Headed towards the third. Creator is building up his army. And again, this has been a much more passive game. Much more passive. Main army gets spotted. During the distraction, Clem gets into the middle line, and Creator is late to react. Yeah, late reaction. Late reaction here. He'll lose far too many probes. It's going to be 6, 7, 8 probes going down. 9. 9 probe kills a Stalker, the Zealots. 10 probes. And this is too much. Yeah, this is too much. Is getting in hand so quickly. 10 probes go down. Drops into the natural. Main army moves in. No disable, but he wants a Colossus. No, he gets it. Yeah, Colossus barely survives. Whew. Does kite back. But again, it's so fragile. You want to drop into the main. Drop into the main base. Creator, he barely does defend the ramp. But Clem, he wants that Colossus. So he gets left idle. Massive pickup. Colossus goes down. And we're not going to get into the mid-game. It's not happening. We're just rallying. We're just rallying across. Clem, he smells blood in the water. He knows that Creator, he's almost down. And he gets us around. He gets us around. Takes out the final Colossus. And with that Creator, he has nothing left. He's down to 1 Zealot, to 1 Stalker. Barely an army. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take the series 4-0, becoming LiuLi Cup number 46, our champion. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations here to Clem, having a clean sweep in the finals. A very aggressive series as well. I was mentioning it coming into Torches. I was like, oh, are we getting into the mid game for the first time? No. No, we almost did. But both players were hyper aggressive. Creator, he was aggressive in retaliation to Clem more often than not. But Clem, he was very aggressive here in this series, very in the face of Creator. Again, when it came to this final game, Creator, he had the tools to defend. It came down to the reaction, it came down to the positioning, came down to the map awareness and map vision. That is something, of course, that has been reduced for Protoss in the recent patch, referring to the observer, of course, no longer being able to siege up to be able to get extended vision without, of course, revealing yourself, or the lack of hallucination scouts, as going for sentry base openers are a little bit weaker as you have less energy to work with, less scouting potential as well. So as a result, he just was unable to get eyes on the drop coming his way. The drop was able to get in, killed 10 workers, killed 2 stalkers and a zealot, and if you remember, that was already critical damage, and it forced him, when he was out of position, right? Creator, it forced him out of position, forced him to react, to respond. As he was rotating to the third base to react to the drop, he got caught in the center, so it was just pulled apart. Was out of position. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Clem, and Clem, a very impressive run here in today's tournament in LiuLi Cup. You can see here he did bleed, like it wasn't a clean kind of run. He did trade and have some intense series against both Classic and Hero. You can see Classic took a game, Hero also took a game as well. I would say that those TvPs were a lot closer. They were a little bit closer. Unfortunately, Creator versus Clem was a little bit more one-sided. Clem with the 4-0, not just in scores, but the games themselves were a little bit more one-sided here. We did have some scrappy kind of scenarios, specifically on Ultra Love with the mech, right, with the battle mech. That was definitely scrappy. It was more intense and more unique as well. Seeing battle mech for the first time against Protoss, at least in the recent patch, was really cool to see. But outside of that, again, just a really intense series out of Clem, partly just because Creator, he was a little bit more passive, a little bit more defensive. That changed on Maganatha, but that was a reaction to Clem's proxy, if you remember. It was more of a reaction. Meanwhile, we had like Hero and Classic being a lot more in the face of Clem. GG, well played. And also, I don't want to take away from Creator, because even though he went down in the finals in a 4-0, he was able to 3-0 his way to the finals against Percival and against Shin as well. So he had an impressive performance making it to those finals. He was... and stylistically, I do feel like Shin did struggle quite hard against Creator. If you remember, Creator was playing very safe. He was playing very safe and very defensive against Shin, and Shin just struggled to break that defensive style and struggled to make it to, or really bring it to the late game against Shin as well. Sorry, against Creator, I meant to say. Against Creator. But here in PvT, I mean, Clem, he is the best Terran player in the world. He has the best TvP in the world, and he does bring Creator down. GG, well played. Congratulations to Clem. And with that, that is going to be us wrapping up today's broadcast. This was a 2-day event, and we have more content in the coming days, in the coming week. As you can see here, we just wrapped up our Tuesday morning broadcast. We're going to be live tomorrow at this time with Pickers Cup. Pickers Cup is going to be tomorrow. Also in the morning, we have the SG2 Safe House Playoffs replay cast tomorrow evening. We were going to be casting that yesterday, but we didn't have the replays. We didn't have the replays in time, so we're going to be covering that tomorrow evening. We have the Turtle Tussle in the morning on Thursday. We have the Pond cast. We have RSL qualifiers over the weekend. True, the Revival StarCraft League Season 3 qualifiers are right around the corner. We have Tunic Cup on Sunday, and we have the Platinum StarCraft League tournament on Friday evening as well. So Friday looks empty, but it leads into the Saturday morning cast. As you can see, that's at 1 a.m. 1 a.m. in the morning. So technically on Saturday, but kind of Friday. With that, GG, well played. Hope you'll enjoy yourselves. Hope you all had a great time here. Shout out to LiuLi, shout out to Saber. He is the organizer of this tournament, LiuLi Cup. These are invitationals. Every couple of weeks we have these invitationals. They're a little bit sporadic, and they don't really have too much consistency to them. Sometimes it's like a round robin group, sometimes it's a GSL group, sometimes like today we have like a round of 8 single elimination bracket, as you saw today. Sometimes we have like off race matches or random matches as well, like playing random the race, I mean. So yeah, it's a little bit more chaotic when it comes to what's going on with LiuLi Cup. But yeah, you know, much love to LiuLi, much love to Saber, investing quite a lot into running these tournaments on a semi-regular basis. GG, well played. And again, the rest of our week here is going to be jam-packed full of other open cups and of course the RSL qualifiers at the end of the week. When it comes to other events on the horizon, of course, if you're in the Americas, do not forget to mark your calendars, because there's a lot of NA StarCraft on the horizon as well. With what? With SE for All. SE for All is a big offline event happening in Philadelphia, so if you happen to be local, if you happen to be in the area, then do consider traveling to Philly. Likewise, a couple days after SE for All, we have Stellarfest. That's a big offline event happening in Canada, Ottawa, or Ottawa, Canada. So two events back to back, one in Philadelphia, the other in Ottawa. Both are going to be massive. They're going to be huge. We have some international representation. Players are flying over from Europe to compete in some of these events, or in both of the events as well. Koreans also going to be traveling. So yeah, right now is kind of November. November is like the big month for NA StarCraft, so do consider going to those events and supporting your local scene and your local tournaments. Likewise, of course, we're going to be tuning in here online as well. We should be a part of the SE for All tournament. SE for All is basically like rebranded Cheeseadelphia. So Cheeseadelphia, they've partnered with the SE Historian to run SE for All. It's a unique tournament because it's basically a big tournament with StarCraft 2 and with Brood War as well. I'm not saying that they're like combined in any way, but there's two tournaments happening at the same event, at the same venue. So the same venue is going to be hosting a Brood War tournament and a StarCraft 2 tournament as well. So it's a really good way to kind of bring the communities together. I'm a little bit surprised that more events don't do that, right? Like, kind of makes sense. So yeah, Brood War and SE2 going to be happening at SE for All. Stellarfest is going to be only SE2, from my understanding. Only SE2. But otherwise, thanks for watching. GG, well played. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. If you want to support us, you can do so via following us. You can follow us on all the socials. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. So if you see something that you like here, like the RSL qualifiers, or SE2 Safe House, or the Pondcast, or some of the Open Cups, but if you can't watch it live because of your time zone, again, we're live morning and evening, like I believe the morning cast is more favored towards NA or the Americas. Evening cast is more favored to Europe and towards Korea. So if you see something and it's not ideal for your time zone, check out the VODs. Check out the VODs over on YouTube. Otherwise, you can support us on Patreon as well. As you can see, we are live on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day as well. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna go pass out. I slept like 3 hours today. I did not sleep at all. It's very hot as well. I got some things to do around the house, but then I'm gonna get some sleep and rest up and get ready for tomorrow's Pegasus Cup. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stick around. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who is live? Who can we send everyone over to? Guess yeah. Okay. Gonna get some veg. Speaking of Pig, I see Pig is live. Anyway, we thought Eggs is live as well. We have been raiding Eggs quite a bit recently. We have Cian, who's a Brazilian caster. We have Ryojin. Nathanius is live. We have quite a number of streamers, actually. Okay. I will give El Chanchito some love. Give him some love.
Defend Stargate units.
He recently came back from Europe, from the UK. Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao. Bye. Ciao. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.